If you're going to lead, just trust me on this, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. Now, let me just give you quickly 6 things, lessons I've learned in making the tough decisions. Number 1, a leader is responsible to place the interest of the organization first. Very simply stated, let me explain this. I, as a leader, have to place the interest of my organization above my own personal interest. That's very important. Number 2, each courageous call required much time, energy, and prayer. That's a fact. You don't make a tough call flippantly. You don't just get out one day and say, oh, I got a real tough call. I don't know, should I relocate the organization or not relocate the organization? Well, let me see. Let me get a coin. Heads, we relocate. Tails, we stay. Life is not that way. I mean, when you make a tough call, you're going to have to take a lot of time. It's going to require a lot of energy. Oh, I don't even have time to tell you the story, so I won't tell you the story, but I wish I could have time to tell you the story. When I went to my second church at the age of 25 and had an incompetent secretary. Incompetent. She couldn't spell. She couldn't file. She forgot things. She didn't answer the phone right. She couldn't organize. Other than that, really no problem. I'm 25. She's been secretary for 26 years. In other words, before I was, she was. Oh. I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there talking about having to let her go. It took me 3 years to prepare files and the whole process to get the whole deal ready to let her go. When I tell people they want to be leaders, I always want to stop and say, time out. Are you sure? Do you know what you're getting into? The third thought about making the tough calls is that each courageous call demanded risk. I've never made a courageous call that I didn't have to risk something. I know a lot of people say, I don't mind making tough calls as long as there's no risk involved. Hello? What have you been smoking? They're all risk. If it's a tough call, it's a risk. Don't worry about that. Get out on the limb. Get out. Go ahead. Get out there on the limb. Get out. That's where the fruit is. Quit hugging the tree trunk. Singing Kumbaya. Waiting for the fruit to fall. Hello. Each courageous call demands risk. Number 4, each courageous call was questioned and criticized. I have never made a tough call where everybody stood and gave me a standing ovation. The reason they're tough is there's a lot of people that don't like what you're saying. Hello? You're going to be criticized. In fact, again, just in reflection, folks, I have made tough calls that still haven't turned out right. Are you all right out there? I was at a leadership conference recently and I heard a leader say, if you make the tough call, if it's the right tough call, it will eventually turn out right. And I wanted to stand up and say, I give you an A for effort, but you just flunked leadership. Because I want to tell you something. There are tough calls that you will make that are right. And they'll never turn out good for you. Just trust me. I live with some of them. I've had to let very close friends go, and they'll never understand. They never will understand. It's not a lack of explanation. It's not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of trying. It's just the fact that when you're a leader, you're going to make some tough calls, and I do believe that most tough calls will turn out good for you. Now, let me tell you something. Tough calls will always turn out right for the organization, but they won't necessarily always turn out right for you. It's part of the process. Number 5, each courageous call cost me greatly. I always paid for the courageous call that I made. You always give up some change. Are you with me? Trust me on this. If it didn't cost you anything, it wasn't a tough call. And lastly, each courageous call cost me greatly. What I'm saying is that every time I made a tough call, I've lost some change in my pocket. And again, I could go through a whole list of the cost that is involved, but just trust me on this. When you make a tough call, there's a cost involved. But here's what's really wonderful. Number 6, each courageous call lifted me to a higher level. In fact, the thing that I want to make sure that I get to you before I get to reflection number 3, because it's so important, is this. When you have a tough call, gang, here's the way this works. You don't want to make the tough call. Humanly, it's tough to make. I understand all that, but here's what I want you to understand about tough calls. When you make the tough call, tough calls equal a breakthrough. The greatest breakthroughs that you'll have individually, the greatest breakthroughs that you'll have as an organization, the greatest breakthroughs that you'll have in your leadership is when you make some of the toughest calls in your life and then watch how that tough call paid off.